Hello, this is Derek Sadie with the business development team at Blackboard, and I want to walk you through today the experiences of our new integration with Dropbox and Blackboard Learn. So I'm going to show you the three experiences. The first is going to be the system administrator experience. That's kind of a one-time only setup. The next will be the experience from the instructor's perspective, and then lastly, we'll walk through an example of how a student can use the integration. So the first thing I want to talk about is what it looks like to set it up in your Blackboard Learn instance. And again, this is for the system administrators. The first thing is once it becomes available, it'll become available within the next week. Today's October 25th, 2016, so it'll be available soon. You'll be able to go to our extension site, and that's either extensions.blackboard.com, or you can see here partnerships/extensions off Blackboard's main site, and it will be listed within the extensions catalog. It's not there yet, but it will be here. Once it's here, you'll go ahead and download the building block, and once you download the building block, you're going to go and navigate to your Blackboard installation, and you're going to go into your building blocks area, which is underneath the building blocks module. Once you're in building blocks, you're going to go to install tools, and then you're going to browse for the download that you just did, and it'll download as a WAR file, and you'll go ahead and upload building blocks. So I've already got it installed. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but if I were to click browse, you can see here on my desktop, I've got it there, and I could go ahead and install it. And it's already installed on this system. So once you submit this, it'll show up in the list of installed building blocks, and there's a one-time configuration. So there's a couple things you want to do in that one-time configuration. First is locate it in the list. So I'm going to actually go ahead and hit show all, and it's going to show up under Dropbox integration. So we're going to scroll down to the D's here, and you can see here Dropbox integration, and you want to make sure it's going to be completely set up. So initially when you come in here, you're going to go to settings, and there is a kind of one-time setup. There is an app key that will be provided by Dropbox, and you can see I already have mine installed. So you're going to get that from Dropbox, or click the Dropbox Choose Your Developer page, and you can navigate to that site to obtain the key. You'll get the key and then pop it in here in this app key box, and then you're going to click Verify Dropbox Configuration. So once you click that, it'll kind of launch into a Dropbox window, and this is what you want to see. In fact, you don't even need to sign all the way in. As long as it loads to the Sign in Dropbox box window, you know that it's going to work for all of your users, including yourself. So I'm not going to sign in yet. I'm going to close that. You would go ahead and submit this configuration. And in the end, you want to make sure that app key is in there. You want to make sure that it's been verified. And then when you look at the building block in the list, you want to make sure that it says available. And so then your setup will be done on the building block side. And so you can see here, I've got Dropbox integration. It's set to available. The last thing you'll want to do as a system admin, once you've installed the building block, you added the app key, you've made it available, is you want to make sure the tool itself is available for your users. And so the way that's going to work is you'll go back to the admin panel, and you're going to go navigate to tools. And tools is actually listed underneath the tools and utilities module. So I'm going to click on tools, and then you can either scroll down the page or you can do a quick find, and we want to locate Dropbox. So I'm just going to look for Dropbox. Here it is. And you can notice mine are already turned on, but you want to make sure that the system tool is at least on, and then you can decide for the course tool how you want that to show up. I actually went in and I locked mine on for new and existing courses. That's up to you as how you want to configure it in your system. If you have organizations in use, you can also turn those on. And the Dropbox integration is going to show up under the mashup menu in the visual text box editor, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. But once you've done this and you submit this page, the administrative setup component is finished. Now that we walk through the system admin experience, let's move on to what it looks like with the instructor experience. I'm going to show a quick example of what that's going to look like. In this example, I'm going to go into a course that I have as an instructor, and I'm going to navigate to a content area in the course, and I'm going to add additional content into my course from things I already have available in my Dropbox area. So in my Dropbox account. So I'm going to go ahead into my Chapter 2 folder here in this biology course, and you can see I've already got one item in here, and I'm just in a regular content area inside my Blackboard course. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to actually add an item, and this item is going to be comprised of two things actually. We're making an actual mashup. We're going to make an item that's got some text, and we're going to make an item that also has links to a couple of items that I have in my own Dropbox folder. So I'm going to go ahead to the Build Content menu, and I'm going to choose Item. However, any place that the visual text box editor appears, and it appears in many items when you're building your course, you can use the Dropbox integration. I'll keep it simple for this example. We'll go into Item, and then you'll see your regular Add Item screen where we're going to give it a name. So I've got my name, and I'm going to put some text in that I've already got in my clipboard, but then at the bottom of that text, I'm going to want to add some links in. And I'm going to want to add links into content that I already have, files I have in my own Dropbox folder. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in my text. And at the bottom of this, I want to call attention to a couple of documents. So I might say, please look at the following. And then right under this, I'm going to put in links that I know I have in my Dropbox folder. So what's great about this is if you've already got content in your own personal Dropbox folder, you can do a one-time single sign-on that will connect your Blackboard user to your Dropbox user account. And it's saved and protected through your Blackboard login. That way, whenever you go to use this integration after this time, it'll automatically be saved and you can browse and use your own Dropbox files in real time. So now that I've got my cursor where I want the links to show up, I'm going to go to the mashups tool. And now that your admin has turned on Dropbox, you'll notice Dropbox is one of the choices. And your mashup tool may differ. The choices may differ from what you see here. But once you see Dropbox in there, you'll click it. And the very first time that you click it, you're going to be taken to a box that looks like this, a window that looks like this here. And you're going to be asked to then browse Dropbox. I'm just going to size this up a little. Once you click Browse Dropbox, the very first time you do it, it's going to ask you to sign in. And what you're doing here is you're going to be signing in with your own personal Dropbox credentials. And this will attach your Dropbox credentials to your Blackboard credentials. And this is just for you. This means that after you do this, if you go use a different computer, a different browser, and you've signed into your Blackboard, this connection is maintained. You will not need to re-sign in again, and no one else will have that connection, just you. So I'm going to go ahead and click sign in. And if you don't have an account, you could create one, but I already have one. So I'm going to click sign in. And that's a one-time sign in. And then right away in this Dropbox chooser, it shows me my content. And you're going to see it shows you a search mechanism. You could even upload things on the fly and then link them in to your Blackboard course. It defaults to recent files. So you can see I've got some files here. But I'm going to go to my actual files. And by clicking on files on the left-hand side, I'm viewing all of my Dropbox inventory, kind of at that top-level root folder. So I've got things in my Blackboard folder. I'm going to go in there, and I've got my biology folder because that's, of course, I'm working on right now. So I'm going to go in there. And what I want to do is I want to create links to a couple of things that I have in here. I want to create links to this slide, and I also want to create links to this PDF. And notice as I click, they're highlighted, and it's collecting down here at the bottom. They're cumulative. So I don't have to do individual links if I don't want to. Now, I can always do one, come back and do more. Or if I know I want individual links to multiple files I have in this window, I can click them as I go. And I've clicked two here. I've chosen two of them. I'm going to hit choose. It returns me back to this confirmation screen and shows me I'm going to add these two files or links to these two files. It's going to have the file name. It's going to have a little icon that goes with it. Pictures have that little image icon and PDFs have the PDF icon. So I'll hit submit. And then those two icons those two links are going to show up directly underneath that text right where I had my cursor. And at this point, I'm done. So I can go ahead and click submit. And then this item will be added in my course. The item gets added underneath whatever item I already have. So you can see here, when I came into this area of the course, I only had that one item, my peer review. Now I have this new item I've added, this Molecules of Life, which is a true mashup. It's got text combined with, in this case, links to my Dropbox items. Something to consider when you link in your own Dropbox items is that the items are not copied into the course, which is actually a benefit. You have added a deep link into your course. So that way, if this were a Word document, a PDF, an Excel file, or anything else that you might want to edit after you create the link, you don't need to come back to your course and make changes because the item you put in your course is just a link. You've not copied a static version of the file. So you'll see right now as instructor, if I go ahead and click on this Molecules of Life slide, when I click on it, it's going to open up and take me directly to my Dropbox. Now, I am still signed in as me, so it takes me in as me. And you'll notice I've got my icon here, and I can see that I'm signed in as myself. When a student clicks it, it'll be a little bit different. They will be taken into their Dropbox account, but they will only see a read-only version of whatever you've linked in as the instructor. Also, students don't have to have a Dropbox account to see what you've linked. If they don't have a Dropbox account and they click the link to the item, it will just open. It always gives the student the opportunity to either sign in to Dropbox, create a Dropbox account, or bypass that and actually just show the item. That way, there's no barrier to the student getting at that content, and it still keeps it protected. They can't go through your own Dropbox account. Students can only see items you've specifically linked, and they're only in a read-only way. And I'll show, now we've done kind of an instructor experience, the next thing we're gonna go on to is going to be the student experience. Okay, now that we've done the instructor experience, the last thing I want to show is an example of what it looks like to be a student and use the Dropbox integration in Blackboard Learn. So in this example, I'm logging in as a student. I'm going to go into one of my courses and I'm going to actually go to submit my attempt to an assignment that my instructor created in my course. But in this example, what I'm going to do is the file I'm going to submit as my response to the assignment is living in my own student Dropbox account. So instead of having to go to Dropbox separately and save the file locally onto my computer and then go into Blackboard, upload it, since I already have the file in my Dropbox account as a student, I can just submit this from my Dropbox account directly into Blackboard. So I've logged in already as a student, and I'm going to go into my course. And once I'm in the course, I'm going to navigate to the assignment. So it's in this Chapter 1 folder, and here's this assignment. So I had to do a creative writing story about the cell. And I've already done it. All I want to do is submit it. So I'm going to go into the assignment. And this assignment was built using the built-in regular Blackboard assignment tool that all instructors have access to. The difference is now going to be that students have the ability to leverage the Dropbox integration for submission. So now that I'm here at the upload assignment screen, students can see the due date and the points possible and reread the directive that the instructor posted. But down here under the assignment submission, this is where students normally go to either upload and or create their assignment submission and submit it to the instructor for grading. Now, normally students would either write the submission or paste it into the box, or they click Browse My Computer. But these two buttons here right now, Browse My Computer, really apply that you've got the content locally on the computer you're using. In this case, we don't. So instead, what I'm going to do as a student, I'm going to click the Write Submission button, but there's that mashup tool again. And just like as instructor, you have that mashups box available, and anytime you see the visual text box editor, so do students. Now in this example, I'm using it as an assignment submission, but students see the visual text box editor in many places like the discussion board or blogs or journals, for example. Same idea. If a student has file-based content sitting in their own Dropbox account that they want to submit into a Blackboard course, wherever that's possible for them to do, anytime they see the mashups tool, they're going to be able to do that. So here, I'm just going to put in a little please see my homework. And then what I want to do is create a link to, I'm going to post a link to the file for my instructor to grade. And so I'm going to use the mashups tool, and I'm going to choose Dropbox. And again, just like in the instructor example, the Dropbox window is going to open up. And again, this is the first time I've done this as a student. So just like with the instructor example, there's that initial single sign-on where I'm going to connect my Blackboard credentials to my Dropbox credentials. I'm going to do the same thing here for the first time. So I'm going to click Browse Dropbox, and because I've not yet done it, it's going to ask me to sign in. And I'm going to sign in with my student credentials. Just give me 1 second here to do this. And once I sign in, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And once I sign in, that initial connection is going to be made. And now I, as a student, am browsing my own Dropbox file area. So I've got my own folders in here. You can see I've got my Bio 101 folder, and I've already got my assignment ready to go. I worked on it at some point prior, and I'm just going to upload this link. I'm going to place this link to my assignment into the class. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'll hit choose, and then I'll go ahead and submit this file. And there's the link to my homework submission. And so then I'm going to go ahead and just submit this, and that'll be my response to this homework assignment. So there's a good example, or one example at least, of how students can also use the Dropbox integration in Blackboard Learn to be able to attach or link in files they already have in their Dropbox account into their Blackboard course wherever they are able to do so and they see the mashup tool. Now there's many other places and examples of where instructors and students can create links or place links to Dropbox content all over their course, depending on how an instructor is using a course and what tools they're on. These are just a few examples of how it could be done. But again, anytime you see that visual text box editor and that third row and you've got that mashups tool, you're going to be able to link out to your Dropbox content and then link it in to your Blackboard course. Hope this is helpful. Thank you.